Welcome back to another episode of Empyrion. I don't know why this tune is stuck in my head lately, but it's been rubbed off on several episodes now. And, as you may have seen, I took the ship for a little spin. It was super maneuverable. I'm not 100% happy with its dimensions, but it's not the worst. I think some of the aberrations about it that I don't really care for will be resolved when later versions of the ship start to take shape. Hey, look, that's a different color than the rest. Oh, that's because it's not a typical hull piece. But look at that. It's a nice little bit of gear in it. The rest of it rests right on the hull, so there must be either some absorbent stuff there or just really dent-resistant paint, or they just have to fix it all the time, or possibly they just don't care. They being me, of course. So, let's see. We got a ship that is not yet done. That was 20%, wasn't it? So, just that little trip used 5% of my energy restores. How much did I... Well, I didn't put in that much to begin with, did I? So, in this episode, it'd be nice to actually deploy this thing, which means there's still decisions to be made. Now, I think it's pretty obvious this here will be for our hovercraft, excuse the coughing, or else. Let's go pick up the hovercraft. This won't necessarily be the final design, because it is very not final, but it at least represents something that has dimension, which I can place into context and see whether or not I have big issues like, oh, I just barely fit under. Okay, that's good. Okay. Suggests I can fit in the door, right? Ooh, yeah, just barely, but apparently... Ooh, not up this thing. So if I do that, turn this thing off, I'm almost sticking out. So this space is not really sufficient to a large hovercraft. But since this whole ship is just the smallest version of what I intend to make anyways, it may only need the smallest version. If it's just a Corvette or a Scout of some kind whose only purpose isn't, to control the stage, but just to go find things, then I suppose it wouldn't need a large terrain vehicle either, just something like that. It does, however, suggest this little nip here is probably not sufficient, so I'm going to actually have to make a decision, like, boom, 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 boom. Actually, that was pretty much it, wasn't it? Do I have more? Yes, I do. I should have known. All right, so, boom, boom, boom. Right, and we'll just fill this in. Bump, bump, bump. Will it be any easier for this guy to get up the ramp, or do I need to do more? Yeah, that's sufficient. And let's say this is as far forward as it goes. Right here. Boom. Which means there's tons of wasted space, come to think of it. So... let's rethink that real quick. Boom, 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 boom. This space will definitely accommodate the craft, but it would also allow people to stand above it. So let's take advantage of that concept. Boom, boom, boom. That way we know exactly how far forward this thing is supposed to be able to go. And that leaves us some room for other things. Ooh. Okay, so push forward. I can't really see well here. Bonk. So this is as much space as... whoops. Hello. Boop. As much space as need be allowed for in a terrain bay. I mean, that's still a lot, so... that's pretty good, which means this space up here becomes a quarantine area, like, you know, because you're coming in and out of the ship, possibly bringing cargo that is possibly dangerous. There needs to be a buffer between the outside of the ship and the inside of the ship. So let's work on that next. I've changed my mind yet again. This here is plenty of space. I'm gonna make this a little easier on myself and symmetrize the plane again, which means boop, boop, boop. Boink. Boink, 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 boink. Right up, up. So we got a narrow gap for a vessel roughly this size. Hovercraft roughly this size, and then that box, and that's as far forward as you can go. Right? Plenty of space. Plenty of space. Except, well, let me just get rid of these on either side. Was that the right one? No, it wasn't. That one. All right, let's put this back. Blink, right? Yeah, and then put a bit of a ramp right here so people can get up. Okay, so now we have assigned a space that makes sense for a small scout hovercraft, which means we have quite a bit more room here. Also means technically this is all the space that's required to get around. So let's have a choke point. That is one needs to get through here into a room that is then quarantine, and then I suppose you might have a cell, maybe 2 cells. So here's the quarantine room, 3x3, right? Boink, boink. Oops, I ran out of bits. But let's say we put in a door here. There's a cell or like a live animal, like containing thing. There's like a restroom or cleaning, a sanitation station right here, just so they need it. And then this room will be sort of medical oriented, and then you pass through and then on up. So first I need more constructing bits. I go on a quick trip. Doesn't make any difference. Quick trip over to these 2 bases that I had long since taken over. I think one of them's spaceport. There's nothing. There's just a few bits left in the spaceport. I mean, I could use those. Probably do that eventually, but for now, power stations, whoa, still has more bits attached to it, and I'll just salvage those, recycle the whole enemy station into something useful. And on back we go. Might be a good opportunity for us to get a screenshot of our ship, which is where precisely. There it is. It's kind of looking okay from up here. Let's see, was it F10? No. F6. There we go. There's a view. How does that look? That's a screenshot. It's looking a little bit like a... Hello? That's not what I want to do. Kind of a flying saucer? With wings. Screenshot. Alright, let's take a landing and get back to work. Boink. Turn on the lights. Put in a door. Which side should that door be? Do you think? Outside or inside? Doesn't matter. Now the question here is, let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. All right, we got some doors. If you open that one, does it stick out into the hallway? No, that's fine. Okay. So here we have a cell. Can you upgrade these from here? Well, this is the one I wanted to be armored. The other ones don't necessarily have to be. Upgrade. You can, but I need some cobalt alloy, which I don't have on me, but armored door, yeah, that's what I want. Oh well, I'll come back to it later. For now, we have learned that this is enough space right here, and hold on. Boom. This is enough space for this area, but is there a point to... I'm just wondering. I suppose we could make this bigger. Let's get the lock back in place. Boom, boom, boom. Is that right? Or is this right? That's right. Lock. I think that's right. Right. Okay. I'm just thinking, whoops, that the path back to the engine space is from here. Could be along here. What I'm getting at is there's room. There's room along these sides if we patch some of this stuff up, but we only have this much space to work with. Bear with me as I think. Don't have a lot of room. Technically, though, this is already at a higher level, so let's just not worry about that right now. Let's fill this in. We can always take some back out again. Let's fill that in. I can come back. I plan to anyways, but from here, let's say from here, boom, boom, boom. I suppose this may provide this area with a bit more armor to shoot through on your way to taking out certain sensitive equipment. Boom, boom. Bear with me as I make funny noises. Boom, 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 boom. And then like so, because we don't need, we can get some more headroom this way. Boom, boom, boom. That seems to run afoul of something. Or maybe it doesn't. Let's just turn this around. I feel like I'm wasting so much space, but you know, I don't have a great deal of practice at that. That's ugly. But I think there's a thing I can do about that. Right? Okay. Boop, doop. This. That. Excellent. Okay. I'm glad they've included some of the angles I want. They don't have all of them. Okay. I'm opting for something a little different here. I'm not sure about this. I've got stairwells going up each way and one going straight back. And I think the straight back is the one that heads for the working sections, whereas these two side areas are going to be based on crew needs. The needs of the crew, like so. Excuse me. So we got a viewport goes all the way around. Could be even further back than that, but this is, you know, all of this as a result is a tad vulnerable. I'm going to need lots of glass plates to do anything about this, but look how, yeah, but still, I think I'm liking this. So that means it's a little awkward through here, though. So you come through the back of the ship, come through quarantine, airlock sort of thing. You come through a couple of Briggs cells right besides. You come through a bit of a low ceiling. Excuse me, a couple of times low ceiling. You kind of edge off over here. You got a big open space. There'll be more consoles. Now I'm having hiccups. You can go on back here, because by the time you've reached this portion of the ship, you pretty much should have free access anyways. The question is now, how do I make rooms out of this area here? Like, is it just open? Is the meeting hall here? Do you just look down and there's... Let's see. I don't have enough of these to do the job entirely, but do we just have something like this? Can this even happen here? Or I don't think that can happen there, because all of these spaces are occupied. If this panel were on the outside, I might be able to do that. Double panes, though, by the way. We could probably have one on the inside and outside, so it was a little bit harder to burst through with weaponry. Still, this area is awkward. I think once we've sealed this off into a complete room and side rooms, then I think the rest should go easy. I might put something like it back up later, but for now I have opted to take this whole part of the ship off. I think I don't want it to be this tall. In fact, I'm electing to take the whole second layer down as well. All right, I'm back after an evening off. I spent a lot of time. I took the roof off. I put in 2 of these guys, though what I found out is they use a lot of power. 100 PU power units, I assume, in, which is expensive. And as you can tell, I'm going to have to do something about the fact they intrude into the roofs. Roofs? You know what? Actually, maybe I don't. Is this the right one? Retreat blocks. Yeah, let's... Can I do this? I've spent a lot of time, and I've even deleted some recordings. Okay, good. I can do this. So I'm just trying to find something I like. That is an interesting look. So let's do the repeat on the other side. But like I said, these are energy intensive, and the only reason I have to is redundancy. Like if one section of the ship blows out for some reason, it's not immediately going to disable all gravity. So maybe what I could do is keep one turned off at all times, and we only activate it should the other one be damaged or malfunction in some way. Okay, so what I was trying to say earlier, this space is awkward, but not as awkward as it used to be. I took off the roof. On one side, there will be dining and kitchen, and on the other, there will be sort of a meeting thing, plus a couple of small quarters, probably with bunks, because it's a small, compact, fast, scouty kind of ship. It's not a luxury liner, you know what I mean? So there's that. I'm going to take this out real quick because it's just a embellishment right now. In fact, this guy's got to move at some point too. Maybe it doesn't have to. I don't know. It should be surrounded by a room and protected by behind an armored door. But in the meantime, I think I've run into a problem. So if this is the quarantine area, I do not have enough room. Maybe I would have enough room. See that? That's tricksy. The trouble is, I want to have room enough for this, but if I do, it sticks up through the floor. Unless I put it sideways. But will it look funny if I put it sideways? I could do that. And then I could put... Hello? Sorry, I was just playing a different game a moment ago, so I've already forgotten all the keys. Did I not have... Could have sworn I had the Dang it, I'm pretty dang sure I did. Boy, alright, but... F. One of the things that does is make other medical things a little more tricky. I suppose one thing I could do... No, wrong thing. We want sanitation, right? Medical station, type 3. Wait, is it also 2x2? Why can't I place it? It is still 2x2, okay. Turn it around. Okay. So you can't walk past it. So any kind of... I suppose these could just be... I'm trying to just make value judgments here, like... Right. Dermal parasite, endoparasite, alien parasite. I can't put one in the middle here. So it's just my medical lab is awfully small. Closed fracture, open fracture, mutilation. Sorry, I'm trying to figure this out. I might open up these walls, actually. Let's open up these walls. And extend all this. Hello. Sorry. Blink. Right. Do the same, do the same, do the same. All right. Put them back again in a different format. Boink, boink. And boom, boom. Was that right? No, that was right. Boom. Over here, they run opposite what I would want. Boink. Bigger room. There may be a complication, though, insofar as I kind of doubt that the... I was thinking force fields. Maybe the whole thing is just a quarantine room, and I don't need the side room. I guess what we could suggest is a ship this small probably doesn't have a great need for a brig. And we'll just get rid of the two side brigs. So now we have more room. We can put in specializations like so. Really? Come back? Yeah. Where are the rest? Like so. Put in a bed on each side. Was that the same one? No, that was not the same one. Boom, boom. Right? And then these guys don't need as much space, so we'll just put one on each side, like so. We have a full gamut. This could even be considered a fast response medical frigate, or not a frigate, a Corvette. I'll need the actual medical station in here somewhere, but I could put it sideways and then whatever on the other side. That'll do, right? And then we just keep our quarantinable doors to either side. All right, I'm gonna finish off real quick. I went back and forth a lot because it just seemed like I had an excess amount of space, way more than I thought I would. I don't know where it's all going, or all coming from, rather. I haven't quite decided where the bedrooms are, but I did decide to move the sanitation areas in such a way as they were cut into the corner of the ships where it's hard to fit stuff. I can put a door here, sanitation, sanitation, and you have equal access to it from the working areas as you do from the living areas on both sides. So I think, I mean, there's obviously more to do, but this episode's going long, so I'm going to call it here and say let's continue next time. Thanks.